it away.
Yeah, story mode in this game is actually really well made. Hello everybody, I am Uncle Slam, for those of you who don't know me, which is probably most of you. And yeah, Super Mario Maker 2 actually added, well it didn't add, because like I guess the 3DS added a story mode to the series, but yeah, Mario Maker 2 actually does have a pretty decently made story mode, where all the levels have, different gimmicks that are kind of meant to, teach players different ways they can use the course parts. And there is an actual, because there's a story mode, there's a way to complete the story mode, so it lends itself really nicely to speedrunning. So we'll go ahead and get this show on the road in 3, 2, 1, let's jam. Alright, so in story mode, the whole end goal is to finish building Princess Peach's castle, which is, right here, nice and complete, obviously. So that's time. Thanks for having me, Ace. Appreciate it. But no, effectively, how this game works is, you'll see very shortly here that this castle is not going to last much longer, and we're going to need to rebuild it, more or less. And the way we do that is there's going to be a list of courses that we develop over time, and in those courses you can collect coins, as you do in Mario. And after we collect a certain amount of coins, we can build different parts of the castle. So like, for example, the first part of the castle we'll build will be the foundation. That'll cost like 100 coins, and then every part after that we build will also cost a certain amount of coins. So like the doors, the first floor, the cannons, like all of those will cost a different amount of money. And effectively this game just becomes, hey, play a level, get money, build more parts of the castle, rinse and repeat. Because each part of the castle also adds different levels to the list that you can play from. So everything kind of, like, weaves into itself pretty nicely in terms of progressing the game. So, I'm gonna go ahead and talk to the chief right here. And our worker toad here is going to be our buddy when it comes to getting levels, because he'll have almost every single level we play in the speedrun. So first level is level 1, if you can believe it, a downhill battle. And this is actually a very, very easy level to speedrun. It actually has one of the most tied world records on all of speedrun.com. Very easy to get, so if you have this game, you might want to consider getting it for yourself, just because it can. But yeah, bit of a bad bounce off of that note block, but that's okay. That'll only lose us like half a second at worst. And we'll hit the top of the flagpole. Now, importantly, as some of you might know, in Mario games, 2D Mario games in particular, there's no real definite answer for where you want to land on the flagpole from game to game. Like it changes every single title almost. But in this game, you want to ideally land as close to the top as you can. And that's because the higher on the flagpoles you land, the more coins you get. And since this game is all about getting coins, the more you can get, the better. So if you can hit the bottom or the top and it takes the same amount of time, it's almost always more advantageous to go for the top.
It's like Mario 1, except it's just faster if you grab the top. This game, it's coins.
Basically, yeah. And that'll apply to the 3D World style as well. So this game also added the 3D World style to the Mario Maker series, and it's especially notable because it adds stuff like trees you can climb right there. You can ground pound blocks like that. I guess you can do that in New Soup as well, but also the cat suit, which you can use to dive. You can climb the background a bit. You can lawn jump. You can do it without the cat suit. But yeah, this first 3D World level like shows off a lot of the different movement you can get with this style alone. Oh, that's a little unfortunate, but not a run breaker or anything like that. Just need to be a little careful with this B, and we're all set. So not the cleanest level 3, but I mean, we got there. I'll definitely have plenty of opportunities to redeem myself later. But yeah, so for the Super Mario Bros. 1, New Soup, and 3D World levels, most of them will end in flagpoles, and that will we've kind of gone over that already. But the other game styles, Super Mario Bros. 3 and Super Mario World, have slightly different conditions. So Super Mario World, like in the original Super Mario World, ends with those finish lines with the tape that goes up and down. Those act effectively the same way as the flagpoles. Only issue is you need to break the tape. If you go through the finish line without breaking the tape, then you get no coins. So not only do you need to finish high, you want to finish high when the tape is also at the top of the finish line. And Super Mario Bros. 3 is very different. So you know, in the original Super Mario 3, all the levels end, you know, minus castles, with a little kind of roulette wheel of sorts, where it goes from, I think it's mushroom, star, and fire flower. And here it's the same with the addition of a 1-up, and each of those things will yield a different number of coins depending on which one you end the roulette on. So mushrooms will give you 1 coin, fire flowers will give you 3, stars will give you 5, and then the 1-up mushroom, if you hit it, will give you 10. So ideally we timed the ends of Super Mario Bros. 3 levels on the 1-up mushroom. Worst case scenario, we hit the star. It's better to hit it a little early than late, because if you hit it late, then you get the mushroom and you lose a whopping 9 coins. So we definitely want to make sure that doesn't happen if we can help it. And on top of that, it's also worth noting that, well, after I get this 30 coin at least, this is a little trickier than it looks. Yep, I made my point right there. Then we'll just hit the top of the flagpole. It took a little bit longer to... If you maintain the propeller there, you can zoom right to the top without any worries. But yeah, you do have to wait for the platform if you lose it. And since that area is surrounded by spikes, and you have to worry about the sun afterwards, it's easier to get hit there than it looks. Even if you do have what looks like a decent margin of error. So you might have noticed too that like the foundation there had 2 little hammers. So for each part of the castle, it'll have a different number of hammers you have to fill out, and each time you beat a level, one of the hammers will get filled out. So the West Hall here, for example, will have 3 hammers. And that basically just means, okay, I need to beat 3 levels and then the West Hall will be complete. But because I started building the West Hall, I get new jobs. And each part of the castle adds new jobs to the list. And job is just like this game's way of saying level. And this is where the speedrun really picks up, in my opinion. So this is a puzzle level that involves everyone's favorite dino, Yoshi, and we will see him in this room right here. So using Yoshi, you can actually skip certain parts of the level. For example, here you're meant to eat all of those Galoombas, but instead you can just damage and boost right through. Then you can also ton boost. I kind of missed the input there, but that's alright. You can also ton boost all over the place to get little speed boosts here and there that save a couple frames at a time. And in this vertical room I'm about to enter, what you can do, you're meant to hit 2 P-switches in order to get through the whole thing, but if you use Yoshi to move this first one, and put it there, after you eat this coin through the wall, by the way, if you have good enough movement, you can actually get through this whole room only needing the first P-switch. You can see the other one on the right side there, below me. And you're meant to hit that one, but with Yoshi and really good movement, you don't need to. And if you like Yoshi, I am very sorry. We do have to sacrifice him to gain 1 or 2 extra coins and save about half a second. We didn't used to do that, but then we realized how optimal it was, and, you know, make an omelet, break a few eggs. But don't worry, he's fine. We'll see him later. Then level 6 here. This is a very technical level. So Mario Maker 2 also has clear conditions. So in this case, not only do we need to beat the level, we also have to collect all 30 coins within it. And the way this level deals with it is pretty cool. So there are 4 different rooms we have to enter with the coins, and each of them have a pretty similar layout, but all of them have different enemies within them. So the first one I'm going to enter is going to have Koopas. And we want to go through this one first because they have shells we can easily utilize to collect the coins, so you don't have to, you know, go all over the map to get them. And I did miss a coin up there, unfortunately, but that's okay. Because the nice thing about the shells is if, you know, they can clear out half the room, then it saves us having to move through the other half of the room, and it saves us just a little bit of time not having to move more than we need to. So the top room has Pom Pom, and this is the first instance of RNG. Because when she teleports, she can go, like, literally anywhere in the room, pretty much. And if she gets rid of the shell, like she did there, then I can't take it into the next room, but that's not too bad. Because we still use the shell in the other 3 rooms. And that alone saved us a substantial amount of time, so. Kind of bad RNG, but a good level overall. This should be a low 260, I believe. Yep, 260, so that's still in the pretty good range.
Level gave some big Mario Bros vibes.
Oh yeah. Honestly, I think that's like what that layout is based off of. So it's really cool when you see all these different nods to past Mario games in the levels themselves. Actually, the last level in the story mode, we're not going to say it in any percent, but like after you beat like the other 119 levels, the very last level is called Mario Bros. 1-1, and it's just basically a Kaizo version of 1-1 in the first SMB. And it is very... Yeah, it's very satisfying to pull off, too.
I need to actually play this.
Oh, I highly recommend it. No, they definitely knew what they were doing here. So another thing you can do with the cat suit in the 3D World style is if you ever see a Bonsai Bill, you can just scratch it and redirect its direction, much like you can in the original Super Mario 3D World. It's really cool to see like how they incorporated like that style of movement and attacks, etc., into a 2D space, and I think they did a fantastic job with that alone. Another nice thing about the cat suit, again, like in Super Mario 3D World, like I was just saying, as long as you hit like anywhere above the very bottom of the flagpole, if you have the cat suit, Mario will just climb straight to the top, and you'll always get 10 coins. So it's very convenient in some spots where like just a normal jump won't get you all the way. And in the story mode, like levels that have the cat suit kind of structure the end of the level with that in mind. So this is Seesaw Catapults. This has a couple of neat skips in it. The first one we're going to see is Seesaw Skip 2. So by doing a very precise triple jump and then a wall jump, I'm able to skip traveling on 2 otherwise intended seesaws. So right here, there's a 1, there's a 2, and there's a 3, and that's Seesaw Skip 2. And then by doing a spin jump here, I can pull off Seesaw Skip 1. And the more astute of you might realize, wait a minute, I can't count right. 1 comes before 2, silly. Well, the reason they're numbered that way is that Seesaw Skip 1 was discovered first. And then if I do another triple jump here and damage abuse through those piranha plants, I can literally just come up here, get that 30 coin, and 1, 2, 3, 4 spins, and I get the top of the flagpole. Yeah, in my opinion, the new Super Mario Bros. Levels are probably, or New Super Mario Bros. U specifically, are probably my favorite in general when it comes to the different levels we play in any percent. Because they have, you know, enough different movement options that keeps things interesting. You know, spins and spin jumps are very useful in certain spots. Ground pounding exists, so it lends itself to a lot. So the Super Mario Bros. 3 style, I kind of talked about the endings of these levels before, but here's the first time we'll actually get to see it. So another thing that Mario Maker 2 added was sub-area themes. So when it comes to the underground theme, if you go through certain pipes, you can get different effects. In this case, it's inverting the gravity. So the way this level is set up, the subworld looks exactly like the overworld, but because the gravity flips, you know, it kind of lends itself to this, you know, how do you get through the level in different ways sort of vibe. And that 30 coin I collected is very important, not because of how it is in the subworld, but because of how it is in the overworld. So I still have a shell with me, even though I'm at the finish. And that's because if you take the shell and come over here, you can collect that 30 coin on the overworld, even when you're not meant to. Okay, so there I got a star. I was going for the 1 up there, but like a star is still fine. You can time your jumps pretty effectively, and if you know, just pause right underneath it, you can pause buffer if you want to, but that's a little bit slower than just eyeing it. So I'll just try to gun for either stars or 1-ups the entire time, if I can. Okay, so here I'm going to build the main hall, first floor. And this is going to have 4 hammers, and I'm going to do 1 more level before I build the east hall, even though I can right now. And that is for a very specific reason. I also just realized that I am playing the wrong level right now, but that's okay. That'll only lose us maybe like 2-3 seconds based on the order. But yeah, this is one that teaches you about the swinging claws. Basically, whenever Mario gets his hitbox close enough to one, they'll grab him. And you can use that to swing around to get some neat momentum. And one nice thing is that there are all these coins, you know, pointing you to, you know, kind of the intended route, and it's the route we would take anyway, so we basically just get free money for playing optimally. Okay, another star, that's okay, that's okay. Again, we want to avoid mushrooms and fire flowers if we can help it. Okay, so because I beat that level, you know, we'll get another hammer. And then after I talk to Toadette again, or I'm sorry, the Chief, definitely not Toadette, we'll start building the East Hall. And the East Hall, like the West Hall, only has 3 hammers on it. So because we built it like this, we should finish the main hall and the East Hall at the same time. And that's very important because every time you finish a certain part of the castle, there'll be this victory animation where all the toads are like, yay, we made progress. But if you finish building 2 different parts of the castle at once, that cutscene only plays once instead of twice for each part. So it saves 4 seconds every time you manage to do that. Also, so we went from one level where we're trying to get grabbed by the claws into one where if we do get grabbed, we have to start the whole level over. Because this is another clear condition. So, you know, despite there being claws all over the place, touching one is fatal here. Because it won't automatically end the level. What it will do is it will set a flag in the game that's like, hey, you didn't meet this clear condition, and then when you get to the finish line, it'll be grayed out, like there'll be an outline and like you won't actually be able to finish it. But it's pretty easy to dodge the claws in this level, even if you are going fast. And right there we have to wait for the tape, otherwise again we get no coins or fewer coins. Okay, so the next level we're about to do is another puzzle level. It's called the Keymaster, and the whole goal of the level is to get enough keys to finish the level, because the finish line is being blocked by 4 different doors. So ideally what you do is you get 4 different keys. There are, I believe, 7 you can collect in the level, but we can completely skip 3 of them. Actually, there might be 8. I think there are 8. But in any case, we only need 4, so we're just going to grab the easiest 4 to grab, and one of them is literally right before the door we need to get to. So by taking this P-switch, and all these rooms, by the way, there are 3 pipes on the left and 3 on the right. Each of them are like kind of puzzles you're meant to solve. So in this case, it's like, oh, there's an invisible block there. I need to throw something up to activate it, get the key from it. And you can luckily solve all 3 on the left with nothing but the P-switch. So right here, I'm going to change all those blocks into coins, collect a good amount of them. And then a nice benefit of the P-switch is that it pauses conveyor belts when active. And this room right here is chock full of them. And normally, as you'll see here, they're going fast enough that like you can maneuver past them to get to the key, but it is really tough to do. So using the P-switch in the room prior, shoutouts to the P-ump, by the way. Yeah, so using it when we do, it makes that room just way, way easier. And then the only way to get to the top of the finish line in this level is to get all 7 keys, but we're only doing that, we're only doing the ones necessary because trying to collect every single one takes way too long. And there is like a pretty hefty amount of coins in the interim room when you go up the pipe, but it is nowhere near enough to justify going for. Because general rule of thumb here is you want to get about 3 coins per second in levels. If you're taking much more than that, then it probably isn't worth getting the extra money. And now, for the first time in the run, we get to see our very first Super Mario Bros. 1 level, and much like the... yeah, so, Ace, you've probably seen these guys all the time in the original Super Mario Bros. Dry bones shells, you know, everyone's favorite part of the original Super Mario Bros. They were definitely there. I mean, they're in Super Mario Maker 2 in this style, so I mean, clearly they were in the original. And we're doing everything's favorite thing we can with them, swimming in lava. Again, classic thing that the original Super Mario Bros. Added. If you don't remember this, then your memory is just wrong. So we're also going to come up in this room with a very precise jump. You're meant to jump out of the shell, but you can barely make it while you're still in it. That makes it a little bit faster to grab that 50 coin and then hop right back. So another little bit of RNG is the Bowser fire here. So I either will or won't get hit here. I do get hit, so Bowser is not cooperating, but it's okay because he meets a fiery demise anyway. So yeah, there's unfortunately like nothing you can do to actually adjust where he shoots his fire. It's just you look out or you don't. But luckily the power down animation in this game only lasts half a second, so definitely not a big deal. Yeah, so you can see here both of those parts of the castle finished at once, so...
So
yeah.
what's the Luigi assist?
So Luigi assist is basically this game's, I don't want to say easy mode, but if you die at least twice in a level, Luigi will offer to give you help. And what that does is you're able to place certain parts or power-ups in the level. Alternatively, if you run out of lives, Luigi can literally just complete the level for you instantly.
How nice of you.
Yeah, and it's like, it's fast, yes, but A, you don't get any coins from it, and B, there is literally no gameplay involved. So it is very, very boring. Unlike this level, which deals with twisters, and twisters are the bane of my existence in this game. Not in the Super Mario Bros. 3 style, though. Mostly in the Super Mario, or New Super Mario U style. So first off, we're going to get this skip by jumping off of that, that muncher with a damage abuse. Otherwise, you're supposed to use like a bunch, like 4 different POW blocks to get them, and that is, again, very slow. And I unfortunately just barely missed the 1-up shroom, so we only got 1 coin when we should have gotten 10, so... We'll have other opportunities to get good Super Mario Bros. 3 endings, though. It's fine. We're going to be a little low on coins as a result, but not dangerously low. Yeah, this next level is very simple. We have 1 roll, no jumping allowed. And it says it in all caps, so like that's how we know the game's serious. Okay, so most of this level is just going to be Mario running to the right and to the left. That said, there is still some cool stuff we get to see here. So we barely avoid getting grabbed by that claw. And then because we got here fast enough, we don't need to wait for those fire bars. Now, the cannons on top of the booze here all should shoot coins. Okay, so we did get kind of lucky here. Sometimes they won't shoot any after they land. Sometimes they'll shoot double. In that case, they shot the normal amount. As long as they shoot some amount, we should be good. Then we basically just have to go through the rest of this level without jumping. And I know it's very tempting in some spots, but I just gotta restrain myself and not press the B button. So right here I'm going to go for something called Flame Skip. If I get it, it will save 4 seconds. And we nailed it. And if I failed there, because we're small Mario and fire hurts, I would have to start the entire level over. So, very high risk, decent reward strat. And that was Trampoline Skip. Normally you're meant to wait for each of those individually, but because we had momentum, that was not an issue. So, GT Ace, remind me what the 1 rule of this level was?
Don't jump.
Don't jump, guys. Remember that. No jumping allowed. Set it in all caps. Otherwise, we can't finish the level. What were we just saying? Yeah, so basically, the way this game determines a jump is not like, oh, if you hit, you know, A or B, and, you know, like, leave the ground. What it counts as a jump is whenever Mario leaves the ground and then touches the ground again. Like, that's what it considers a jump. So, because I jumped to the flagpole but didn't actually hit the ground before I hit the flagpole, the game was still okay with me jumping, even though it said no jumping, just because of how it determines what a jump is. So... And you might have noticed that there were like 1 or 2 spots where I could have progressed without jumping, but because I would have left the ground, I could not have without ruining the clear condition. So the game's very deviously built to where it's like, well, you can progress without jumping, but I'm not going to let you. So yeah, this is a very chill level, one of like 2.5 underwater levels. Not a whole lot of speed tech here, so it's kind of just, you know, a nice refresher before you get into the real meat of the run. What you can do there is if you hit the 10 coin and not get blown up by the twister, you can save about 2 seconds, because if you do get hit by the twister, then it'll blow you kind of into a tight spot where you have to cease your momentum for a little bit. So just avoiding the twister is like probably the most insane this level gets. That said, it does have probably the easiest flagpole to get the top of, because all you have to do is mash B. And it's that easy to hit the top.
Oh yeah, Mario time.
Alright, so the next level is the last level we'll see before we have to help the toads. Well, 3 specific toads, the red toad, green toad, and blue toad. This is a Super Mario World level that's themed around the Koopa Clown Car. However, we're going to try to skip the Koopa Clown Car as much as we reasonably can, because the Clown Car is kind of slow. So after we get through this introductory room, going to go underground, and we are going to need it briefly here in order to break a wall. And what you're meant to do is you're meant to, you know, fly it down this section here. But instead, what we can do is we can bounce off of all these enemies. And even though there are bottomless pits all over the place that normally wouldn't be an issue with the Koopa Clown Car, if you just like damage abuse through those enemies and jump off of them, you can avoid going through the whole gauntlet entirely. And again here, gravity is just faster than right in the Clown Car, so even though it's safer to go through there and, you know, dispatch all of the piranha plants manually, again, it's slow. We don't like slow. But what we do like is keeping this spiny helmet, because if we get hit in that room at all, we will lose it. And we kind of need it to get to the top of this finish line and collect all these coins. And that's a pretty substantial amount too, so it's like, just the coins you collect up there, that's 16. And then I think the most amount you can get if you don't break, you know, from the finish line anyway, the most coins you can get if you don't break those blocks is 3 from the finish line. So you're missing almost 20 coins just by losing the spiny helmet. And that's definitely not ideal. Okay, so now we're going to go up top because the Chief, as it turns out, is very terrible when it comes to leading this project, because all 3 of these toads are missing a crucial part of the building process, and we need to collect those parts for them. So the red toad needs a stone. This is new to the Super Mario Bros. Or Super Mario Maker franchise. These stones you can carry. However, if you've never seen them before, that's because they were only added to the story mode. So if you're wondering why you've never seen these in any online levels, Nintendo didn't give them to us in online levels, for reasons I can only speculate.
This is my first time seeing this.
See, there we go. Proof. You also notice there at the very end, I turned left with a stone before I hit the finish. And that's because if you're still facing right, it will block Mario's path off screen. And if he takes too long to, you know, finish, or if he can't actually walk off screen at the end of a level, it will actually take longer for the level to fade out. So literally just by turning left, we save a couple seconds. And then this is a very basic level where we're introduced to the cloud mechanic, something that, for whatever reason, this toad needs to build a castle. I'm not an architect, okay? I'll just assume that's how it works. Yeah, I have a very limited amount of time. You can skip all these coins if you want to, but just because they're on the way, we might as well grab them. The ones at the bottom there you also can collect, but it takes just enough time that it becomes really, really tight if you want to get the 10 coin and finish the level, because the cloud only lasts a certain amount of time. And if it disappears, then not only can you not finish the level, you will just fall either into spikes or to your death, neither of which are what we want to see. Then finally the blue toad here. I don't think he actually needs any help with finding a part, but it turns out one of the purple toads actually got kidnapped. Because, sure. So the whole goal here is to escort Toad, the purple Toad specifically, to the end of the level. And he will kind of act like Baby Mario does in the Yoshi's Island games, where if he gets hit by anything, he'll get put into a bubble and you'll have to collect him. Granted, he does not cry like Baby Mario does, so he's a lot less annoying to deal with. And after one spin, we should hit the top of the flagpole, like so.
Oh yeah, Mario time.
That's actually a really flagpole to hit the top of. Because you're so far above the top of the screen, you just kind of have to guesstimate where you are relative to, you know, where your momentum's leading you. And this is a slight problem because I need 1100 coins here, and I only have 1098, so I think I can collect some on the right side of the overworld, if I'm not mistaken. Otherwise, I need to play another level to get what I need to build the next part of the castle. So I'm just gonna take a detour over here. No, they're being blocked. Okay, so I just need to play another level. That's not the worst thing ever, but... yeah, if you were going for PBs, then this would basically have killed the run, but... it is what it is. We don't need that many more, so I'll just do Head in the Clouds again. It's a nice short level, so we should get everything we need from here. Yeah, world record at this point is, like, so optimized that, like, if you miss more than, like, I don't know, 15 coins, I think, too early on, you basically just can't continue the run. It gets a little more lenient once you hit the middle of the run, but... yeah, early on, making sure you have 1100 here is definitely the biggest hurdle. So now we're going to build the East Hall. And there is a reason we're building East before West, but that basically just has to deal with what levels we have available. So this one is just better in terms of like collecting a lot of coins more quickly. So snake blocks in the sky, this introduces snake blocks. Basically as soon as Mario touches one, it'll follow a certain path, and that's all there is to it. This is a pretty boring level casually, but again, in terms of a speedrun, it's a nice brief little respite before we get back into more intense levels. So just collect whatever coins we can, and then once we get those last two up top, I'm going to skip the rest of the level here because there's a conveniently placed question mark block right in the middle, and we can use that to jump to the very end. Because otherwise that level is basically just a platform scroller. And those are only marginally better than auto-scrollers. And that will not, spoiler alert, that will not be the only time we skip a platform scroller in this run. But before that, we get Master of the Trees, which is one of my personal favorite levels in the run, both casually and a speedrun. It's not particularly long, but it's another clear condition where we need to stand on top of all 5 of the bell trees. And this is the first time we'll be seeing our buddy, the Bully. Say hi to the Bully, everyone. Oh, well, and that's why he's called a Bully. Never actually gotten that bad a jump before, so that was interesting. There we go, that's what I wanted. Hey, first death of the run, that is not that bad. Yeah, so all you need to do is climb to the top of these trees. It's nothing too special, but because it has 3D world movement, it's really satisfying to get through optimally. And you can also roll through pipes if you are positioned correctly, which is slightly faster than just walking to them. And then I did mention before that there were auto-scrollers in the story mode. Unfortunately, the very next level we have is an auto-scroller, but it's not very long, and it has a cool aesthetic. And I believe the run only has 2 or 3 dedicated auto-scrollers, so it's not like we're, you know, going to be inundated with them. This one just happens to be fast and gets us a lot of coins, so that's why we play it. So it also introduces these little ant trooper dudes. Another enemy that did not exist until 3D World. And even though this is an auto-scroller, there is a little bit of something I can do near the end. It's like right here, if I start my slide at a certain time, I should be set up to enter the warp box at the end right as it shows up on screen. And casually, you're meant to jump off of the ant on the little block at the bottom right there, right in the middle. But you can literally just jump off and then do a spin at the end of your jump from the platform you land on. And not only is that much easier, it's also infinitely faster. Okay, so this level right here, Flanet Clown Car, this one deals with the clown car, and we actually do need to ride it through the whole level. Otherwise, it is literally impossible to beat. But more importantly than that, it has Mario Galaxy music. So, I hope you guys like Gusty Garden. So I'll be completely honest, I had not actually ran Mario Maker 2 actively in a pretty hot minute before this marathon. So when it was derusting, this was one of the levels I was most concerned about, because there's this part at the end right here where you have to shoot a certain fireball in order to get rid of 2 chain chops at once, and that's much harder to hit than it looks like. But you've also got this Bowser fight here, which you need very precise movement in order to beat him in 5 shots. And my very first attempt, I got it and got a new PB on this individual level. And that's after not playing it for at least a year and a half. So the fact that that level went so well, not only in practice but here, was definitely a treat. It's always nice when you get validated for muscle memory not going away after all that time. Okay, so now we're going to build the East Hull doors. And the first level we're going to see here, that this part of the castle unlocks, is going to be a level we call Buzzy in the community. Now this level has another clear condition where we have to collect a certain number of coins. We only need 80, but if I do everything right, I should be able to collect at least 200. So it is a platform scroller, but because we're constantly collecting coins the whole time, it's very involved the entire time. Pretty much the entire time. Alright, also, one thing you can do is accidentally not have up depressed the whole way and completely miss a shell throw. And when that happens, you instantly lose at least 7 coins whenever it happens. But I'm gonna blame that on me talking too much and not focusing on the level. Right here, if you keep your little helmet the entire time, you can actually get that 30 coin by bouncing that spiny. Yeah, so if I had not accidentally missed that first throw, I believe that would have been 205 coins we got from that level, which is pretty dang good. Yeah, back in the day, like in the first few months of this run, if you got somewhere in the 190s, that was really, really good, and now we can actively get in the 200s pretty easily. And I believe I just re-entered Buzzy again instead of going to 57, so that's a thing that just happened. I'm just going to stick to this level, though, just because we get so many coins here, and menuing out would take a good number of seconds. Because one thing I haven't really touched on is that not only do you get coins in this game by collecting them in levels, but the first time you clear a level, there's this thing called a first clear bonus. Depending on the difficulty of the level, or at least what Nintendo says the difficulty is, you can get either 100, 150, 200, or 300 coins from any given level the first time you beat it. And that's always nice, because like, it doesn't matter how many coins you get in the level itself, you'll always get a static number from your first clear. Unfortunately, that also means that if you play it again, you won't get that bonus. So So, there we go. That went a lot better, and this should, assuming I don't mess up the end here, this should be an actual 205. Hey, there we go. I will take that. Alright, so now, at this point, you may notice a trend once I go into the next level. A pattern, if you will. Because I'm going into Buzzy a third time. Now you may be wondering, wait, why are you doing this? You're not getting the first clear bonus. Well, that's because it turns out that even though we don't get the first clear bonus in this level anymore, because we collect so many coins in such a short amount of time, it is actually very well worth it to keep playing this level a few times just to grind coins. Because if you take some of the other levels we have access to, even if you take into account the first clear bonus, even if we play it super optimally and get all the coins in the level, and very quickly, we would still get more coins per second by playing this level again than we would in some of the other levels. So, as kind of a history as to this level and its incorporation in any percent, actually I will focus on this shell throw first. And that can happen if you miss the shell throw, so we are missing a substantial number of coins, because if that happens, then you also unfortunately lose your Shelmet hat, and you can't get the 30 coin at the end anymore with the Spiny, so a little unfortunate, but we can make up those coins later. Not a big deal. So it's kind of a history to this level's incorporation in the run. So the first 2 days of routing out this speedrun, the community was like, okay, well, because, you know, every time you beat a level for the first time, you get a lot of coins for the first clear bonus. Again, they can range anywhere from like 100 to 300 coins. And for a first clear, even if it's a relatively slow level, that's a lot of coins. So for the first 2 days, basically every run was trying to, you know, clear as many different levels as we could. Then on day 3, a runner by the name of Oh Snap figured out, wait a minute, level 56 is so optimal when it comes to coins per second that I kind of just want to do a run that does it a bunch of times and see how that goes. And I believe he managed to cut off over 20 minutes off of the any percent time just by playing Buzzy 20 times. The problem, of course, was that he played Buzzy 20 times, and overall I think that took over half an hour throughout the course of the whole run. And that is what a lot of people, myself included, would call pretty boring. So Oh Snap, for the following month plus, went on a mission to see how many Buzzies he could eliminate from that bunch. By trying to, optimize all the other levels, see what's worth it, see what's not. And over the course of his span running this game, he managed to take the countdown from 20 to 7. So only about a third of what his first run did with it. And, if you play Buzzy 7 times, that only takes about 10 minutes, which, in a run that's, about an hour 40 long, it's like, okay, that's only about 10% of the run. That's not too bad. Still a substantial amount of time, but, it's not like, half of the run, for example. And then, over the course of the next year and a half or so, 3 runners in particular, myself, Sheepley's Day, and Val JP, all took that number from 7 down to 5. So in an optimal run, you would only play this level 5 times, and it would only take about 7.5 minutes. So even though it is, you are grinding for coins, you're playing the same level over and over again, it's not nearly as bad as it used to be. Now, we talked a little bit about Luigi Assist before, and if you die in this level twice, what you can do is you can use Luigi to place, I believe it's a cape and a star, and if you combine those, you can actually just completely coast through this level extremely quickly while still collecting a good amount of coins. So in the Luigi Assist category, you would do that and play the game, or play the level 17 times, which is still over 20 minutes of the run. And that is one of the reasons why not a lot of people play Luigi Assist. Because much like the early days of the any percent no Luigi Assist route, it's kind of boring. Because you're just doing the same thing over and over and over again for like 20 minutes. But luckily that's not something we really need to worry about in the no Luigi Assist category. Now, I will point out, because I missed at least 80 coins in, I believe it was my fourth attempt, my third or fourth attempt, we are pretty low on coins right now, but I'll worry about making them up later. Because one nice thing about this run is that, like, it's very customizable to, you know, fit whatever coin route you want to go for. So, like, there are a lot of big coins or, like, large coin troves in levels that I just completely skip just for the sake of saving time. But if you are in a pinch and need extra coins, like, they're always still there. So even though it does take a little bit more time, if you're ever, like, really low, you can make it up by going for coins you normally wouldn't go for otherwise. This level is, the first half is pretty cycle-based, the last half is just, avoid these bloopers. And boy howdy, if you think bloopers are annoying in most 2D Mario games, the 3D World style amps that up to 100. Luckily we have all these clear pipes we can just shoot fireballs through to dispatch most of them, so they're not nearly as bad as they could be, but they're still not the funnest creatures to deal with. Then at the end here, this is a good way to demonstrate, you know, like time versus coins. So like right there, I could have waited for the blocks at top to disappear so I could get the top of the flagpole and get 10 coins. Instead, I decided to save a few seconds and, you know, end up a little lower on the flagpole. Yeah, that kind of perfectly illustrates what I mean when it comes to, you know, like, do you want to prioritize coins or do you want to prioritize the time you're spending in levels? Oh, whoops. That is not what I meant to do. I meant to start building the West Hall. There we go. Okay, so the next level, level 60, above the clouds. This one demonstrates low gravity. And on top of that, it's filled with twisters. Now, I did complain about twisters before. This is another level where they're actually okay. So low gravity and piranha plants are basically the main theme of this level. You're also meant to do a spin jump there to get that coin and jump off of those piranha plants, but you don't need to as long as you align your momentum properly. And then this part can be a little tricky here. So what you want to do is you want to hit one of these spin blocks and then go through it your next gust up, but it is really easy to just miss your little gap and hit another block instead. And if you do that, it kind of messes with the cycle of the finish line here. So I'm just going to wait for 1, 2, 3. And then that should get us the top of the finish line, like so. Yeah, if you just gun it to the finish line there, then it won't line up nicely for you to get the 10 coins at the top and get boosted up by the twister at the same time. So what I do is I look at the munchers and how many times they open and close their mouths. And after they do it like 2 or 3 times, then I'll pick up the speed again. Okay, so level 33, this is a quick one, and that's because it is literally a speedrun level. And if I do it right, I should finish with either 5 or 6 seconds left on the timer. And there is a slight time save I can do right here, so if I just do a spin jump off of there and land on that sprint, that saves about 1 second. And finish with 5 seconds on the clock, like I said. Yeah, in my opinion, even though that's, you know, one of the shorter levels and one of the, you know, more on the simple side of things in terms of the levels in the story mode, that is one of my favorites and, in my opinion, one of the best. Because it looks like a level you would actually see someone make in the course creator. Okay, so level 29 here. This is another auto-scroller, so bear with me, but it has a really interesting idea where Another thing you can add is the poison mushrooms from this little game called, I think it's Lost Levels. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of it, but... Yeah, so this guy in the night theme will actually chase Mario around the entire level. And you never actually get a mushroom in this level, so if it touches you once, then it's game over, man. So you basically just want to maneuver it around, make sure you don't get hit. And there are a couple of safe spots that come up during the level, but because it's an auto-scroller, they don't last for very long. So for example, top of the vine here, you don't have to worry about getting hit. And if you come up here, you've got a good couple seconds of leeway to just catch your breath. Now I'm actually going to lure it right here. As long as it's on that platform and I'm below it, I am perfectly safe. But like I said, it's an auto-scroller, so not safe for as long as I'd like to be. But we're almost at the end of the level anyway, so it's not like it's that big a deal. Gonna go up to the claw, and we're going to finish with a very nice coin count in the upper left. Alright, and the next level is level 30, Blink Blink Blunk. This is another one of my favorite levels in the run, because the last two rooms emphasize some sort of mastery of 3D world movement. There's nothing too insane on a technical level, but just the precision involved in some of the movement is very tight with the cycles you have to make. So this level is all about the blinking blocks. They will change to on and off on a certain rhythm. You basically just need to maneuver around them. So first room, pretty basic, just run to the right and jump at the right times. This level has a tight cycle where I'm going to try to make it here. Yeah, if you get that wall jump at the end to the 10 coin, then that's how you know it worked. Otherwise the blue blocks kind of prevent you from doing that, just based on how kind of janky wall jumps are in the 3D world style. And here we're going to go for this 50 coin. Now, I don't want to miss it and fall into the vat below. And we didn't. Now, I want to get a very precise double wall jump there. That is actually way harder to do than it looks. And finishing with a 258 on the timer is actually as close... that's about as close to perfect as it can get for those strats. I believe I've only gotten a 259 once ever using that route, so... Okay, so now that we have the West Hall second floor completed, we're going to build 2 sets of cannons here, I think. Yeah, so we're going to build the West Cannon and the East Cannon, and hopefully, I'll have enough coins after the next level to start building the the West doors. Yeah, because earlier I did kind of screw myself out at 80 coins. I might be a little shy, but we'll see, we'll see. Alright, so this next level is definitely one of the scariest in the speedrun, because it's a level that is completely in the dark. So what we used to do is at the very start of this level, there was a frame-perfect jump we could use to save 1 second. And the good news is we don't need to worry about it anymore. The bad news is what we do now is a lot harder. So there's this P-switch that you're meant to wait for on the right side of those dry bones, but if you hit it right here, there's a very tight cycle you can make. And if we make it, we should be able to get this 30 coin, no problem, like so. Yeah, that is not an easy cycle to hit, but luckily we did it no problem. And then I'm going to go for a damage boost there so I can get through that flump just a little bit faster. Now, that will make hitting this next switch just a little harder. Yep, so that can happen. Slid right to the right side of it instead of hitting it. That can just happen. And we do, unfortunately, need to wait for that block to come across again, otherwise we can't hit the on-off switch. And if you don't hit the switch, then this wall will block us, and we can't finish the level, but... Luckily I got the P-switch cycle, and that is by far the hardest part of the level, so... Could have been a lot worse. Okay, so we do have enough coins for the west doors, so that's good, that's good. And after this, there's going to be a long spell of levels where we don't actually build anything for a while. So this whole part of the run is just more coin acquisition. But ideally we don't see Buzzy again, so it's not like we're, you know, grinding and grinding and grinding. No, there's actually level variety now. And this level, even though it technically isn't RNG, is very finicky, because note block jumps in the Super Mario World style are a pain in the booty sometimes. So we just need to collect 40 coins here. You get plenty of them, because some get shot out of cannons, and then you've got the 4 10 coins at the top, so... Ending with 63 plus what we get from the finish line is pretty dang good. Okay, so level 45 is next. It's called Lava Rising, and it deals with lava cycles. Now, in the last room, there is a very precise setup that I'm going to go for to try to get a 30 coin about 7 seconds sooner than I meant to. So hopefully that goes as well as I want it to. Yeah, the first room's also pretty cool. Well, not this first room, the second room. This room is just a giant vertical ascent where you're meant to beat the lava, and assuming nothing goes horribly awry, we just saw the last of the lava in this room, so... Basically just want to keep climbing, collect coins along the way. There are some cannons that can be a little tricky to deal with. It's like right here. Okay, luckily those 2 shot cannonballs. Usually those 2 on the right side won't do that for some reason, but... And actually hold that thought, important moment here. Bob Ross. Bob Ross, happy little trees. All right, anyway, so right here I'm going to try to stand on the edge of one of those skulls, and right there was a 50 coin. Normally you're not meant to start this skull train until a little bit later in the lava cycle, but because I started it when I did, you just barely have enough room with Mario's toes to grab that 50 coin and not hit the lava. Issue is you do need to stand on the very edge of one of the skulls. And it is very easy as soon as you collect it to accidentally hit the lava and have to start over from the checkpoint. I was about 50-50 on that in practice, so the fact that I got to pull it off here makes me very happy. Okay, Impassable Castle, another one that's very movement focused. There are a lot of thwomps in this level, there are a lot of shells. I'm going to try to use both of them to my advantage as much as I reasonably can. So right here, you can get by that guy right before he turns around. You can damage abuse here and use that to get to the donut block again before the thwomp turns around. And we're just going to wait here for the thwomp to take out this chain chomp. Ooh, that is very unlucky. Normally, that thwomp will take the chain chomp out, but because of how it was positioned, sometimes it can just go right above it, and the chain chomp will be fine. So unfortunately, there's a trick I won't be able to go for in a second here. And I missed the corner boost. Alright. Bad omens all around. So I'm actually going to go through this section a lot more safely than I otherwise would. And that's basically because the last room is, well, you'll see. It's kind of this mini boss fight where you're meant to take out that chain chomp to get through. But if you have a mushroom or a shell in it, you can literally just damage abuse to get your way through. Otherwise, that is a very, very tedious room to get through, because if you're Small Mario, obviously you can't get hit, and you basically just need to route them around in such a way that you can get through safely. And that would take a lot more time than the time I spent just getting rid of the chain chomps earlier. So, a little bit of bad luck in the middle of the level there, but nothing too serious. Okay, Dry Bones Lava Lurker. This is a level where you don't want to blink, otherwise you will miss all of it. All I have to do is beat 6 Dry Bones. Sounds easy enough. And it is. Yeah, the only tricky thing about that level is that if you wait too long to kill the last guy, then the level will raise too high for you to actually hit him with the tail. And you can't get rid of Dry Bones in this level any other way. You have to hit them with the tail. So if you wait too long, then you have to wait for the lava to go back down. You have to, you know, make sure that you can hit him safely, and that can lose up to like 6 seconds just on that one Dry Bones alone. Okay, so Blink and Block Blitz, another 3D World level that deals with Blink and Blocks. This one is very cycle-based, but there are a couple of little tricks we can do in it to speed it up. So first thing I want to do here is grab the cat suit. And then you might think it's a little weird that I'm going back to the first room, because like, okay, it's the first room, there's nothing in there. Or is there? Yeah, so that 50 coin right there took the community, I think, 2 months to actually discover. Because, you know, we're speedrunners, like, we don't, you know, really play through the levels very casually. It just took a runner I mentioned earlier, Oh Snap, kind of, you know, going through the levels to see what we might be missing to realize, oh wait, there's a free 50 coin there. And it's actually, even though, you know, it takes a little time because I have to go back to the previous room, even though it takes a little bit of time to get to, it is very worth getting. So once that got discovered, I think that actually, talking about Buzzy again, I think that actually eliminated one more instance of playing Buzzy. So if not for that 50 coin, you would have seen one more level 56, which I know you guys were absolutely thrilled to see 5 times in a row, but level 50, Rotten Produce. This one's pretty simple. Run to the right, don't get hit. There is actually a strat you could do here where you get a mushroom at the very start. I'm pretty confident with the small Mario strats, though. So I'm just going to stick with it. Delay myself just a bit so I don't get hit by that poison mushroom or the one at the end. And I jumped over the flagpole. I don't think I have ever done that in this level. But besides that, that was actually pretty clean. Okay, now level 51 here. This is a lot of people's least favorite level in all of the story mode because you only have 100 seconds, you need to collect 50 coins, and all the while there are some really annoying enemies in clown cars chasing you the whole time. But if you do the speedrun, it's a little easier. So first you want to get all those coins in one jump. Then after you collect this large mushroom, you want to lure this guy over, then jump on in and swoosh his car away. If you collect that large mushroom, then that clown car becomes de-aggroed. Come over here, and even though you see at the bottom there's that cannon that is still in a clown car, because the clown car is off screen, it's basically despawned, so he can't chase me until I get low enough, like right there. And ending with 69 seconds left is pretty ideal. 69 or 70 is like the best you can do for the strats I did there. There is a very, very tight set of movement you can do that gets you 75 seconds though, but it is extremely high risk, high reward. Because there's a tricky jump where if you miss it, you get sent all the way back to the bottom and you have to collect an entirely new clown car, and you effectively lose as much time as you would have saved. So this level is called Get Over It, but don't worry, Bennett Foddy will not hurt you here. And this is yet another auto-scroller, but this is an interesting one because it's a downward auto-scroller, which isn't something you see all the time. And you've got that poison at the bottom, which obviously you don't want to hit. Also, there is that mushroom there. I don't need it, though. Because the only real risk that you would need it in this level for is if you hit a saw. But if you know where all of them are, then it's like very, very easy to avoid them. Because if you hit the poison, then it's an instant death anyway. And the mushroom won't really help you there. So I just elect to avoid it because it saves like half a second over not seeing the power-up animation. Bet you guys thought I was headed into the poison there, didn't you? Now, you do want to hit the snake block as soon as you reasonably can. And that's mostly because there is a death plane at the top of the level, but it only activates if Mario is standing on a block above it. So you could be high up there and, you know, be like in the death plane zone, but as long as he's not standing, you're effectively totally safe. And because the top of the snake block like gradually gets higher and higher as it travels down, you want to make sure that the top of it doesn't get too high. Otherwise, there's a chance when you're going over the top of it, you accidentally stand on it and then die immediately. So it's just another micro-optimization where it's like, the sooner we hit it, the better. Even though it isn't technically faster, it does make things a bit safer. Okay, and this level introduces the Koopa Troopa car, which is different from the clown car. A lot of vehicles in this game. And effectively, the way the car works is as soon as Mario hops in it, it will automatically generate speed in whatever direction it's facing. Very simple, but it's also very fast. So all I really have to do here is jump and then turn around at certain intervals. And even then we have sprints that do the turn it around more effectively than I would, so. Yeah, that's one of the only instances you ever actually manually turn around in this level, is that 50 coin down there. Then if you jump over this bully right here, you can save a little bit of time by not driving down that steep slope. Otherwise, if you drive down it, it's like you're losing maybe like a third of a second at worst, but it's little micro-optimizations like that that I think make this run very interesting. But I'm also very biased. Alright, so now we're actually going to do something a little weird here. We're going to go up to the West Cannon, because inside the cannon is a little guy by the name of Yamamura. Now in the game, this is kind of the tutorial bird, where like you'll have a bunch of different guides you can use when you need advice for what to do with the level creator. But he also has 3 different levels in the story mode. We're going to be playing 2 of them. Now the first one here, Airship Flight, is another level where I'm not allowed to jump. And again, by jump, I of course mean I'm not allowed to leave the ground, then land afterwards. And this is a level that, one of the only levels we'll see in the run that actually deals with the cape. And that's because this is a very vertical level that, yeah, has a lot of saws in it. So this is a level where to play optimally, you really need to memorize the layout of the level. Otherwise, you know, getting through, you know, the quote-unquote intended way would be very, very, very slow. Because obviously you don't want to hit any of the saws, and if you lose the cape, then you lose a lot of control. There are still portions of this level where you can beat without the cape, but the cape makes it so much easier. Okay, and right here, I want to make sure I don't hit any of these spikes because that will send the clown car careening in a random direction. And we should be good now. So as soon as I get rid of these squids, it should be home free. Now I can finish the level immediately here, or I can collect the 45 coins. That's right, 45 coins on the left. And because that is an absolute ton you can get in a very small amount of time, it is always, always, always worth going out of your way to get them. Okay, so now that we have a pretty exorbitant amount of coins, we're going to start building more of the castle. Specifically, we want to build the west roof now. And after this, we're going to play the nicest of levels. Level 69. And this one is an absolute killer on the thumbs. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. It's just very, very nasty to try to practice more than like twice in a row because there are a lot of wall jumps you need to do here, and a lot of the time you need to hold down the jump button to get full height off of those jumps. So you can just barely skip past that giant spike before it hits you. Then I'm gonna take this mushroom. You can use it to damage abuse later. Hopefully I won't need to though, but if necessary, it is very convenient to have. And then right there, I just spawned 2 bonsai bills at the very top that are going to the left, and optimally, I don't hit them, and they're all already gone when I get to that point, so. Using a spin jump and some other really precise movement there, you can get the top of the flagpole without missing a beat. That movement is much harder than I made it look, I promise.
I thought it looked hard.
Alright, so I believe I should have enough coins to build the main hall here and then the east roof after the next level. I believe. Or I might be one shy. I might be one shy. Okay, I'm gonna adjust my level order. Oh, no I'm not, because I don't have that level unlocked yet. Never mind. That's right, I unlock it with the east roof. That's why I don't have it yet. Yeah, so Freeze and Rain, pretty easy level. All I have to do is do long jumps and normal jumps as you run to the right. I think the whole point of this level is to teach players how to long jump, and, you know, when it's advantageous to long jump versus regular jump. It's a very, very, very easy level, though. Like, one thing that can happen is you can just, like, barely mistime your long jump input and jump right off the edge. Yeah, I'm literally 1 coin shy. Go figure. Okay, so we're going to... I'm going to play Buzzy one more time just to make sure I have insurance. Because I unfortunately cannot access any of the levels I would normally play at this stage otherwise. Now that said, I don't need too many coins, so I may just damage abuse to the end after I get enough. You know, one common thing you'll see from newer players is that they'll either A, try to go too fast through levels and skip a bunch of coins, and then they can't build the castle when they need to, and that loses a lot of time. Or they'll focus way too heavily on getting coins, and they'll have way more than they need and have spent like way too long collecting them as a result, so. At the top level, it's a fine game of like figuring out, okay, what coins can I afford to get and what coins can I afford to skip. So I'm just gonna skip the rest. And we should be set for the rest of the run. I can't see us needing that many more. Unless something goes horribly, horribly, horribly awry, but we'll cross that road when we get there. Okay, so now we'll build the east roof. And unfortunately, because the timing is a little bit off, we won't finish it at the same time as the main hall. So that by itself is like a 4-second time loss from having to see the animation twice, but 4 seconds in a run this on is not a huge deal. Okay, so shoes in the clouds. There are 2 different ways you can go through this level depending on how many coins you need. But because I'm, so set after that last Buzzy, I'm not terribly concerned about doing the coin-focused route, so I'm just going to do the fast one. This will also be the only level we see in any percent where we deal with the shoe. Shoe was normally only in the original Super Mario Bros. 3, and never made its appearance until, if I'm not mistaken, Super Mario Maker 2? I could be wrong. It might have made like 1 cameo in another Mario game I'm forgetting, but...
And it was only in 1 level in Mario 3.
Yep, and it's one where you go left of all things.
Yeah.
Like, so many oddities in that game. That 1 level, actually. Alright, so we're just going to bounce off that Wiggler. We're going to damage Beast here through the chain chomps, and this should be a 1-up. There we go. Only took, an hour 15, hour 16, but we finally got a 1-up in the end of the SMB3 level. Yeah. The nice thing about this game is that there are also levels in the story mode that do use the shoe in other styles. I think there's one that does it in... Yeah, level 8 I think does it in the Super Mario Bros. 1 style. And then there's a bonus level that does it in the Mario World style. I think that's it, though. Alright, so this level, all I have to do is eliminate all the bloopers. Unfortunately, their movement is kinda random, so I do have to account for them. Okay, that was lucky. That was really lucky. Oh shoot, I might get a 284 here. Or 283. 284, that's okay, that's okay. Wasn't at the top of the finish line, but you know what? It was close enough. I'm happy. Yeah, ideally what you gun for is a 280 or a 281. But if you get really lucky, you can get 285 or 284. So, bloopers decided to be on my side today. Love to see it. Okay, so launching bob-bombs. This one is a lot like Buzzy, except instead of throwing shells up, we are throwing bob-bombs. And to make things even better, I get to go through at my own pace. I don't have to, like, ride a giant train of shells, so... That said, I do still need to collect 50 coins, so I can't just, ignore all of them. So far everything but the first throw here has been pretty dang good. And one more, and then we hit the end, and I should get the top if my cycle is correct, and it is. 87 coins there is pretty dang good. Highest I've ever gotten is 92, and ideally what you want to get is anything above 86, so... Just barely meeting that threshold. Alright. So the next level we're about to see is one of the longest in the run. It's a puzzle level, and it deals with the stone again that we saw, way back in the Red Toad level. And the whole theme of it is that all of the different rooms you can visit... Actually, no, I'm sorry, because my routing is off. So one thing I should point out is that once you build the... I believe it's the 3rd floor of the main hall? Maybe the 2nd floor, whichever part of the main hall I just finished, I think it was the 3rd floor. You activate this level, Toad Rescue. And effectively what happens here is another Toad got kidnapped, and you can't actually play any of the other levels until you beat this one at this point, because you can't progress building the castle without that Toad, because he's so important to the whole project. So this is one of only, I believe, 7 levels that are actually required to play in story mode. And luckily, it's also a fairly fast one, too, so... Alright, so... hit that Goomba, and I should not have to worry about losing the Toad here. And because of the low gravity, it is extremely easy to hit the top of the flagpole there. One nice thing about the New Super Mario Bros. U style when it comes to low gravity is that you can just spin over and over and over again in a rhythm and barely lose any height. Like, I love when online levels do that too. Alright, so now the next level, the very long puzzle one with stones. The way it's built is that every single room in that level, barring like the main hub room, I guess I'd call it, there's a puzzle that the developers intend you to use the stone for. As it turns out though, 2 of the rooms, technically 3, you can do without the stone completely by cheesing it. So the first room is actually going to be the first one we spawn in, and the only puzzle there is like, hey, put a stone beneath a muncher so that it gets out of the way of a 10 coin. Instead, what you can do is just time a very precise jump, collect the 10 coin, and not get hit by the muncher. The first room is another one where if you're fast enough, what you're meant to do is you're meant to hit that switch, put a stone on the conveyor belt below it, and block the bullet bills from coming out. But if you go up that little chamber immediately, you beat the first bullet bill and you don't have to worry about the stone at all. This level, you just have to move the thwomp so he gets rid of those blocks. Oh my gosh, okay. So that one was my bad. I accidentally blocked the thwomp's exit there by placing the stone where I did. Normally he gets rid of more than just the bottom row there, so I was a little surprised by that. Yeah, that's definitely my that's never happened before moment this run. Okay, so I'm gonna try to not let that happen again. Yeah, the Stone Axe, like, it interacts really weird with the Thwomp sometimes. Like, sometimes it'll, like, it will be right below him and moving up, but it won't move the Thwomp at all, even though it absolutely should. And then this level is nice and chill, because all you have to do is place the stone down, sit on top of it, and let the claw do the rest of the work. Yeah, otherwise if you just try to hop into the claw as Mario, you hit the saws at the bottom and die very quickly. So very clever use of the stone. Very much a shame that Nintendo doesn't let us use it in the course creator. And then this section right here, you don't need the stone for, but it makes things a lot easier. Otherwise you have to hit one of the green shells at a very specific speed. But yeah, and just like the Keymaster before, the rest of the level is just going through all these doors with the keys we've collected. Exhilarating stuff, I know. Alright, and just like before, we want to face to the left so Mario doesn't get blocked by the stone, and we're home free. That is one nice thing about the longer levels, like even though you are spending more time in them, usually they lend themselves to having some bigger skips. And actually, I don't want to be building the roof yet. I just screwed up my route a little bit because of that extra buzzy, but that's okay. Okay, so here we're going to find Yamamura again. And we're going to play his second level, where all we need to do to beat it is collect all the coins and hit the finish line. I do like these levels where you have to, as a course clear condition, you need to collect all the coins, because you know exactly how many coins you're going to get from it and exactly how long it should take. If you don't do something stupid like I do and forget that hitboxes exist. One other thing I can point out here is that whenever you die in a level, You don't actually lose all your coins. What happens is whatever coins you've accrued already get cut in half. So if you've collected, say, 80 coins in a level and then you accidentally die, you'll still have 40 coins. And that actually can be used to get a few more coins than you otherwise would have from a level. Unfortunately, for the sake of the speedrun, it's never faster to do that. But, if you're in a marathon setting and you kind of have to make do with what you have, it is a nice little cushion to fall on. So even then, like at world record level, you never see it. It is very nice outside of that. Okay, now if you pay attention to the music in this level, you may realize that I may be playing the wrong game. Yeah, so hi everyone, my name is Cheese05, and welcome to my Super Mario 64 speedrun. I do like to think that even though it's not directly based on Rainbow Road, or I'm sorry, Rainbow Ride, I like to imagine that, we're in the sky, this music's playing, it's like, this has to be kind of an homage to that world in Mario 64, right? Oh. I didn't need that coin anyway. Yeah, nice thing you can do in this level is, normally what you're meant to do is hit every single switch to get through casually, but if you skip that one on-off switch, that's the only way you can get underneath that 50 coin to actually collect it properly. And because I missed that last switch, I don't need to hit this one to get to the higher end. This level kind of has a, kind of like a Sonic thing going where it's like, hey, the higher route is easier, but the lower route sometimes can get you more coins. So it depends on which way you want to go. And if you take the low route here, you can get that 30 coin, no problem. And because you only get 10 coins if you hit the top of the flagpole, it pays off to take the lower route there. There is the IL strat there actually has this really cool technique where you get to skip the entire last third to a quarter of that level. Problem is, you miss a ton of coins in the process, so it's not really worth the time save because you still need to afford different parts of the castle. Alright. 67 Boom Boom Rager. This level is based on wind cycles, so because they blow at certain intervals, you need to have a very, very strong route, and if you mess it up at all, you need to improvise. Luckily, I've practiced this level so much that I know basically all the improvisations you can make. Yeah, you can see here whenever the wind is blowing, Mario's speed decreases drastically. Okay, so in this case I want to hit that checkpoint, and I'm going to come down here, because there's a pretty healthy amount of coins here, as you can see. So even though I have, I spend all that extra time getting the coins and I have to go through the door transition, there are enough there to make it worthwhile. And if you combine that with a 30 coin that's right over here, all those coins combined are worth basically another go-through Buzzy. I want to shout out a runner by the name of Sheepley's Day who discovered that last 30 coin I picked up. And in addition to another coin he found in level 13, I believe it was, he actually was able to eliminate another Buzzy level from the run entirely. So shoutouts to him for that. Saved a lot of time on the 100% route. Alright, and this is another level that's basically a speedrun level. It's called Bonsai Build Chase Scene, and the whole time, as soon as we go through the pipe, we're getting chased by these two bonsai builds. So we basically just need to get through as quickly as possible. However, we do need one of them at the end of the room. So if you're just trying to get through this level quickly, it's effectively a speedrun. But because we need to use one of them anyway, we effectively just need to go through fast enough to not get hit. And it kind of becomes an auto-scroller, kind of, sort of, not really. You'll see what I mean. So right here, that spiny is going to eliminate the top one. And I can use the other one to jump off of and collect that 50 coin. And this level looks very scary. I promise you it's totally safe, and hitboxes are a suggestion. Or not. Again, I have never actually died that way before, so that is very interesting. I think I'm low on coins after that, but that's okay. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, if you get the 30 coin in that room, you need to have really clean movement afterwards to not get hit by the bonsai bills. But mine was just a little too sloppy there. If you do it right, the hitboxes will not overlap, but the sprites will for Mario and that one bonsai bill I hit. And it will look like I should die like I just did, but... No, hitboxes in this game are actually fairly generous when it comes to the bonsai bills and bullet bills. Of course, I say that as I've gotten hit by 2 already, but details, details. Okay, so in this level, it's called Threat Level Porcupuffer. There are a lot of Porcupuffers, language is hard, we'll see throughout this level. The main ones we need to worry about are going to be in this room, the next room, and the very end of the level. So I want to kill that back one to get a key to go through here. Gonna take our sweet time to get all these coins. Then near the end of this room, I'm going to do a very precise setup that will affect the movement of another Porcupuffer that will... that might mess with the movement. I guess we'll see. Yeah, if I do this right, then I should be able to get through this Porcupuffer just fine. And I want to abuse these invincibility frames, otherwise the Porcupuffer will eat Mario. And it doesn't matter what power-up you have, if you have Fire Flower, if you're Small Mario, if he eats you, you're dead. The only exception is if you have a star like I did earlier. But besides that, like, it doesn't matter how powered up you are. If he decides to eat you, then you're done. You have to restart at the last checkpoint. It takes a lot of time. But if you use the setup right, then it's never a concern. And I did kind of get it by mistake there, but... I still survived, so I'm not complaining. Yeah, right, John? Shoutouts to John Nash in the chat, another very skilled runner of this game. Alright, so in this level, it's basically another kind of sort of platform scroller, not really. 7, 8, 9. So you're meant to ride these snake blocks all the way through the level and avoid getting hit by the spikes, but you can just damage abuse a lot of the time to get past them instead. Because it's not an auto-scroller, you don't, actually need these snake blocks to progress, but a lot of the time, because of the spikes, you do need them not to take damage. And you can go above the top there, save a little bit of time. Now, unfortunately, to get to the next room, we need to go through a pipe, and we only have a floor to go through the pipe once the snake blocks reaches the end of the room. So, unfortunately, even if we do have power-ups to spare, there's no way for us to actually get into the next room until the snake block makes it to the end. So... just gonna do that. Okay. So, speaking of platform scrollers, the next level 66 is exactly that. This is another level casually people find kind of hard just because controlling parabeetles is a little funky. So the way parabeetles work is as long as Mario is standing on one, they will slowly start to ascend. But if he ever jumps on one, it will lower a bit in height. So you can see right here, I'm going to stand on him for a bit, and he starts to go up. But anytime I jump on him, decreases a little bit. And I'm actually going to try to get this mushroom, because it'll make a skip later a little easier. There we go. Yeah, so what you're meant to do is just ride these guys all the way to the end of the level. But as you can clearly see, they move very slowly. So what you can do instead is jump off of that guy and use these Goombas to jump straight to the end of the level. And it's this level that really makes me think that Nintendo kind of knew that people were going to speedrun the story mode, because they're spaced out perfectly so that you can just jump past them to get to the end. So I at least like to think that Nintendo still kind of gives speedrunners the thumbs up, but then they make weird updates to games that makes running into them much more problematic, let's say. Yeah, so this level, another one we're required to play. So once you get to this point in the castle, you unlock Operation Total Eclipse. Now, there is a very precise set of movement you can do basically as soon as you enter the first door, that if you do it right can save, I think it's 6 seconds. So the whole thing you're meant to do here is save all 5 of the toads that have been kidnapped, because apparently Bowser's still trying to do that. So you want to escort all of them to the end of the level, but to do that we need to rescue them first, so... my movement should still be clean enough that I can make the 6-second time save work. Alright, should be good. So I'm going to wait here just a little bit. Then I'm going to make that spike thing on the left activate at a very particular time, because it won't activate until it pops up on screen. And then if I did this right, there should be a fire cycle I can barely make and get all the toads through here. I should be fine looking at where the cycle's at now. Yep, so I just barely got all the toads through before they got hit. If they got hit, then I would need to rescue them from their bubbles. And that could potentially lose me time. It doesn't necessarily if the bubbles travel in the right directions, but either way it is definitely dicey if you ever have to do that. Okay, and at the end here, all we have to worry about is Kamek. And there goes Kamek. Alright, that level basically went perfectly. Can't complain. Now, unfortunately, I think I might be shy on coins. I could be wrong. Yeah, I'm shy on coins. Okay. Not that many, though, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to play Freeze and Rain again, because that's a pretty quick level and you get enough coins to put you over the top. Actually, no. You know what? No. I'm going to go to level 22, because I promised we'd see Yoshi again. This is the level. So, very short level, but we get enough coins to actually reach the threshold of 2,000 we need to finish the castle. So we use Yoshi here. We'll dump him in the water, but don't worry. We'll see him in just a few seconds again. And then using the Ton Boost technique, I'm going to run all the way over here, jump on top of this platform, and finish the level. And with that, we should have at least 2,000 coins, and that's all we need to finish the stained glass, and once the stained glass is built, then we will have finished the run.
So I should get ready on time?
Not necessarily. So you'll see here, you know, I pay for the stained glass, and it will have 5 more hammers. And as we learned before...
I see.
Yeah, so as we learned before, each of those hammers means we need to beat one level for each hammer. And as it turns out, we have a very, very fast level in Head in the Clouds. And since we don't need to worry about coins anymore, since the stained glass is the last part of the castle, I just need to beat this level enough times. So, you know, 4 hammers, or I'm sorry, 5 hammers. That means I need to beat this level 5 times, right? Is that how math works?
Checks out for me.
Okay. Yeah, I know I had quite a few deaths in this run, I will admit. I did spend most of last week just trying to de-rust, because it has been a hot minute, but all in all, for my first run back in quite a while, I am not disappointed with how this went. Yeah, I guess I'll go ahead and use this opportunity. So I have been speedrunning this game basically since the second day it came out. Basically as soon as the Nintendo Direct happened, that was like, hey, not only are we releasing Mario Maker 2, it's going to have a story mode. I was very interested in potentially helping out with the speedrun, because I'd never speedrun a Mario game before, and I thought, okay, this would be a good opportunity to, you know, like maybe contribute, you know, save a couple seconds here and there. And basically on and off for the last, how long has the game been out? Like 4.5 years. I've been in the top 3 pretty consistently. And for the last 2.5 years, I believe. I think tomorrow will actually be the 2.5-year anniversary of my current world record. This has been a really fun game to learn. If any of you are ever interested, we do have a good amount of resources. Oh, excuse me for 1 second. Yeah, if any of you watching are at all interested in maybe learning the speedrun, we do have a Discord. We've got a good amount of resources to go off of. Basically, anyone who's run the game at a top level is more than happy to help you any way they can. There is a coin route somewhere buried in the Discord. I think there might be a sheet on speedrun.com as well. Yeah, words. I cannot speak today. I am so sorry.
I can never speak well either.
It's a problem with us Mario
when
runners.
I host a podcast, man, it's bad.
No, you're fine. You're fine.
Yeah.
I've watched your podcast. You are top tier.
Well, let's not overdo it, I guess.
Yeah. So, get back to the speedrun real quick. So I beat the Green Toad level 4 times, and as soon as you get to the last hammer, you get the final level in the any % run. This is another required level. It's called Meowser Showdown. And this is kind of a stark difference between the Luigi Assist and no Luigi Assist categories. So I mentioned before that with Luigi Assist, Luigi can literally just beat levels for you. If you do that category, what you would do is you would restart the level 4 times and then jump into lava. And at that point, Luigi would beat the level for you, and that would be the run. One of many reasons why this is the superior category. But yeah, basically the goal here is just beat Meowser at the end, save the chief, and call it a day. And this is a pretty chill room. All I have to do is, you know, jump at certain intervals. And time will be as soon as Mario grabs the flagpole. So I will say that when he has the cat suit, the timing is a little bit different, but I'll warn you there if necessary. But yeah, so in this Meowser battle at the end of the next room, there is a lot of RNG. So what he can do is he can stay in the background and fire fireballs at you for basically as long as he wants. I think my record is 9 times in a row, and that is very, very, very bad, because I think it takes about 4 to 4.5 seconds every time he decides to throw a fireball. And that's also an RNG pattern where ideally I could have gone either under him or above him, but he gave me neither of the good patterns for that, so just kind of had to take the damage abuse. Yeah, so I want to hit him with 4 POW blocks, and however long he decides to stay on stage is random, so hopefully he will cooperate. Yeah, so firing a fireball like that, that's up to him how long he wants to do that, pretty much. You can do something to mitigate it, but it's not fully consistent. Alright, that was actually not bad RNG, all things considered. So I do have the cat suit, so time's going to be not as soon as Mario touches the flagpole, but when he grabs it, so... Time is now.
GG.
Thank you. Underestimate. Now, considering how many deaths I had, that is actually not that bad. Especially for my first actual speedrun in like a year and a half, so... Yeah, probably 2 years, closer to 2 years, I think. But
It was nice to see the story mode for the first time.
oh yeah. The nice thing about story mode 2 is that, like, at least for any percent, you do get to see almost half of the levels as well. So like there are 120 in the entire story mode. I think, if I'm not mistaken, any percent uses 57 of them. And that actually comes out to like a little less than... With all the menuing too, it comes out to a little less than like a minute 20 spent on each level. Which, when you do factor in the menuing, is actually like even less than that. I think it's about 35 to 40 seconds each level. But yeah, definitely, I do definitely recommend, even if you don't want to speedrun the story mode, at least checking it out, because I know a lot of people, when they get Mario Maker, it's not for the story mode. As evidenced by the stark difference in the leaderboards versus the top streamers of the game, but no, it's it's actually really well made. Nintendo obviously put a lot of care into all the levels, you know, making sure people who played it got, you know, good ideas of, hey, you can use it in this way or that way. They also have a lot of open-ended levels in terms of, you know, like how you can use different methods to beat levels or, like, you know, go certain routes. And it just kind of lends itself nicely to speedrunning as a result. I don't think I have a whole lot else to say. Thank you, GTAs, for having me on. This was a lot of fun to come back to and revisit this game.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Be sure to shout yourself out if you want.
Oh, yeah, sure. Yeah, so on Twitch, I go by... well, you can find me at twitch.tv/IamUncleSlam. GTAs gave me a nice little shout out there, so just follow that if you would like. Obviously, no pressure. Lately, I've been running Mario Wonder, though very, very infrequently. Trying to get a sub... What am I trying to get again? I'm trying to get myself down to like a 215 in that, slowly but surely, but...
That's all Royal Seeds, I assume?
All Royal Seeds, yeah. Any percent is a whole different beast.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but it's a fun category. I like being able to play each of the worlds individually too, without having to, you know, skip half the game. Yeah, so there's that. I play a lot of Pac-Man games. I haven't streamed a whole lot recently, but that's mostly just due to, you know, like life stuff. But come May, things should pick up a lot. Yeah, I'm also the current world record holder of this category. I may or may not revisit it in the near future, because I know some developments have been made recently, but all depends. But anyway, yeah, and shoutouts to Hooray Speedruns in the chat. He is a very new runner, but he is very, very skilled and may or may not beat the 80% record in the near future. We'll see, but yeah, time will tell, time will tell. I think that's all for me. You can find me on YouTube as well. One thing I will point out with this game is that I did this about 2 years ago, but I did a challenge where I tried to see how many of the story mode levels I could beat blindfolded, and of the 120, I managed to beat 10 of them, which is way more than I thought I'd be able to. So in the coming months, I may or may not revisit that, see what else I can do there. But yeah, aside all that, I think that's all I've got.
All right, well, thanks so much for coming on and doing this run.
No problem. Thank you again for having me. Hope you all enjoy the rest of the marathon. Take it easy. Peace out.